All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful Friday afternoon. God bless everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua the Messiah. I do pray you and your family are super blessed. As the Bitcoin price, I mean, what is even going on right now? Honestly, we take a look at the thumbnail, which we can't look at anymore on my end. And the question is, are we going to pump or dump? I mean, nobody really knows. Does anybody really know if we're going to pump or dump? Let me know in the chat. Are we going to pump or dump? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Got to give a major shout out to Dan Nixon FF. He says the VIP Discord worth it. I don't know. Ask the people in the chat if the VIP Discord is worth it. Of course, I would say it's worth it. I mean, it's my thing, right? I mean, if you sign up, I get your money. So, of course, I would say it's worth it. But, you know, ask some other people in the chat. My man, shout out to Daryl Oofton. Shout out to the dreaded crypto face Sandworm. It's something we're printing, I guess. Shout out to Splashfire Films. Shout out to Seat Parabolic. Shout out to Keith M. Jeffs. My built indicator with market CMA and local best. Let's roll. Cool, man. Major shout out to XRP Saschion. Your poll confirms 96K, baby. We did ask in the chat, look, are you bullish or bearish on Bitcoin? And 58% say we're dumping before pumping. All right, shout out to Preparing for War. He says VIP is definitely worth it. And shout out to Splashfire Films. He said it's underpriced and overvalued. Wow, that's amazing. Shout out to Daytrader1982. Shout out to Iman Mir Shahai. He says, damn, Jason, look rip, not fat. Well, look, it's my New Year's resolution to get into shape. All right. My New Year's resolution is to quit eating junk food. No more beers at 3 in the morning and ice cream. Beer, ice cream, and pizza at 3 a.m. I used to set an alarm for 3 a.m., wake up, side my bed, had a beer, had a slice of pizza, and a bowl of ice cream ready to go. No more of that. I decided I'm going to stop being so sedentary. I'm going to start walking more. And I decided I'm going to start hitting the weights, right? So these simple little changes I'm going to be trying to implement in my life, and I'll see what happens, okay? Shout out to my man, Prime Vids 3, what's up? All right. Major shout out to Cephas 2025. And shout out to Not Quicker. He says the market's going up. Oh, when the market's going up, it means they go down, right? Isn't that a song? Something like that. I don't know. I'm not a rapper, although sometimes I pretend to be one on the internet. Shout out to Applenge Jeep. Is Jason Cashmere my real name or a Hollywood style name? Who knows? I'm a man of many names myself. Alright? A man of many names. Guys, as usual, if we can get 1,000 likes within half an hour, we will be giving away 1,000 USDT. Alright? Shout out to Shirley Fortress 886. He says, hit the likes so we know eat the bugs. Yeah, hit the likes so we know eat the bugs. You used to set an alarm to wake up and eat because of bro science. I mean, come on, who didn't set the alarm for the 3 a.m. protein shake, bro? Who didn't set the alarm for the 3 a.m. protein shake? And let's be honest, bro science is legit, all right? The older I get, the more of a bro scientist I become. The older I get, the more of a bro scientist. In fact, I might start setting the alarm for a 3 a.m. protein shake. All right? All right. Make sure to smash up the likes, guys. Also, we are trading on KCEX, best deal on fees. We are trading on WEEX, also a great deal on fees. We are trading on BLOFIN and ZoomX. If you want to sign up, click the links. If you want to join the Casper Crew VIP Discord, which the chat says is worth it, you can go to jasongaspertrading.com, where we gave the long from the exact top. Gave the local long from 94.5, which we're currently still in right here. And also we gave more local long from 85.426 just recently. Which, am I still in that? Yeah, I'm in that. I'm in that right here. Is this one? Or is that this one? I might have added to it. I don't know. But anyway, you can click the link and all that stuff YouTubers supposed to say. We shill ourselves. You know, that's how we make money on YouTube. let's pop right into what's happening with Bitcoin today, guys. First of all, Bitcoin holds 91K as the market awaits Trump tariff ruling. Asia morning briefing. All right, this is from yesterday. This was some news that was happening yesterday. People are waiting on this tariff thing, which is supposed to trigger some short-term volatility on Bitcoin. And if I'm not mistaken, this might have already happened, right? Did this already happen? Is that the volatility that we saw this morning? In fact, let me find out if this already happened. When is this set to happen? Does anybody know in the chat? Let me see here. I don't know if it's happened already or not. But anyway, we're supposed to get some short-term volatility. I don't know. Nothing really to talk about, I suppose. Nothing really to talk about, I suppose. What else is there? Cathie Wood says the U.S. government may start buying to stock national Bitcoin reserve. This is an interesting article. Cathie Wood, a nice picture of Trump right here. She basically, if you're not familiar with Cathie Wood, she's the founder of the ARK Invest. She said that the U.S. government may start actively buying Bitcoin to build up a national strategic reserve. And the idea is that the reserve was created by an executive order and currently consists mainly of confiscated Bitcoin. But Cathie Wood believes direct market purchases could begin soon. And the reason why this matters is because the initial goal behind this reserve is to eventually hold up to 1 million Bitcoin, far more than what has been seized from, I think, from Silk Road, right? Is that where the US government got their Bitcoin? That would be pretty crazy if the government held 1 million Bitcoins. Cathie Wood says that political incentives such as support from the Trump administration and crypto's role in recent elections may encourage the government to buy Bitcoin outright. If the government begins purchasing Bitcoin as part of its strategic reserve, it could remove coins from circulation, tighten supply, and therefore pump the price to a new all-time high. All right. I don't know. Something to think about. Look, my overall view on the market is that we are going to see Bitcoin enter into a massive bull market. All right, Bitcoin is going to continue in an uptrend. It's going to be super bullish. The Bitcoin price is not going to get cheaper over time. Of course, I also believe we're going to see a few months of sideways and down before we start entering into a massive pump cycle. And my actual estimation is that probably around the summer and the fall, we will see an amazing opportunity to buy Bitcoin cheaper than what it is right now. And then we're going to see Bitcoin pump, right? And all the bullish fundamentals, such as the Federal Reserve beginning to pivot. You know, the reality is they are beginning to pivot. They stopped raising interest rates, then they kept them the same, then they began lowering interest rates. Okay? They are changing fiscal policy a little bit. It's nowhere near as hawkish as they were in 2022. All right, we're seeing potentially the government starting to buy Bitcoin. We cannot deny the fact that institutions are getting heavily into Bitcoin. There's more money coming into it. It's going to pump, baby. Besides, when we look at the chart, right? Go to the yearly chart. There's nothing bearish about the Bitcoin chart here. Like, there's nothing bearish about this chart. Even if we're heading into a little bit of a bear market, right? So it's just something to keep in the back of your mind. If the government really does hold 100 Bitcoins, not 100 Bitcoins, 1 million Bitcoins, that would be pretty intense. There's only 21 million Bitcoins. And a lot of those are gone forever because they're locked on hard drives or whatever, and people lost the seed phrases. So what do they say? There's probably like 18 million Bitcoins that will ever be mined or in circulation ever, if we don't include the ones that are lost forever. That's pretty intense, all right? That's pretty intense. Moving over to the Bitcoin chart, guys, it is a Friday. It is a Friday that's very important as we head into a weekend. The reason why is because the Bitcoin price has come up to this very key area of resistance, 94,562. This is the local range high. And this is the weekly chart, guys. all right, if we are unable to close the weekly candle above this level, not necessarily the best look for the short term. When we come down to our daily time frame, we have confirmed a few days ago the red dot, all right, el punto rojo. El punto rojo confirmed usually means the rest of the week at least is sideways or down. And so far that was on Wednesday, Thursday, bearish. Friday here, we'll talk about what's happening right now, as potentially we are getting a back test from very important support. But here's one thing I do want to highlight about the weekly and the daily. First of all, the weekly has given us a significant bottom here on December 25th, the week of Monday, December 25th. I'm sorry, the week of Monday, December 8th, 2025. And when you get these big bottoms, it usually does mean more upside is expected. When we come to the daily, we are seeing a continuation pattern, which is this. We came to the low, we're seeing momentum, money flow curve to the upside. Now we're printing our first top after the money flow crosses, which usually means, now that the money flow is coming from purple back into blue, that this next wave we get here, with the money flow continuing to increase, is going to give us a significant push to the upside, all right? So all these reasons considered, I am still leaning bullish for a bullish breakout out of this range, okay? This sideways range that we've been trading in, I'd say is pretty akin to this one down here that we traded in March and April, right? The range eventually broke to the upside. Why? Well, it's because we had bottom signals here. The money flow started to curve to the upside, and then boom, a big breakout. Now, a few things to take notice of here. This sideways range, you know, it's very important to understand. These take a while before we break out, okay? And what happened over here is we actually we took all the liquidity from the low. And when we did that, we formed what's known as a bullish divergence. Some people call it an uneven butt cheek pattern. It's basically where you have a big momentum wave on the left, small momentum wave on the right. The price is making a lower low, as the momentum in the money flow is making a higher low. That is called a bullish divergence. Now, take a look at what's happened over here. As we've gotten this move up over a holiday, mind you, we have left behind a series of ugly looking higher lows. What do I mean by ugly looking? I mean, anybody who's been long ever since, really, we could say ever since December 1st, but really also like December 18th, has been able to long without any risk of liquidation. They can trail their stop losses under these ugly, ugly, ugly higher lows here, which leaves behind stop losses that if we start to come down in, it creates a cascade effect of stop losses getting triggered, which thereby pushes the price down lower, which causes more stop losses to be triggered, which pushes the price down lower. And I want you to notice that if we do come down, and this red dot gives us a little bit more downside over the weekend or next week, what would the chart look like if we came below this low and the price made a lower low? What would market Cipher B look like? It would look extremely bullish. We would have a deep momentum wave and a skinny momentum wave, aka the good old-fashioned uneven cheeks, and that could be the catalyst that causes this thing to break to the upside. All right, now, am I saying for certain we're going to break to the upside? You can't be certain, but I'm pretty convinced, based on our weekly, that there is going to be more relief here. And I think what's happening is we had a little bit of a bull trap maybe, and now we're going to have a bit of a bear trap, and then we're actually going to get a real retrace. And then we're going to put in a lower high, most likely, and then eventually make our way down to the low of the range around $70,000. That's personally what I think is most likely to happen. But of course, nothing is guaranteed in trading. When we take a look at our 4-hour time frame, this is where things get interesting. Let's remove everything right now and take a look at what's just happened on our 4-hour here. Nice deep momentum wave, skinny momentum wave, anchor trigger. Is this going to result in a bounce? That's the big question here. I'd have to say it is pretty ambiguous because we don't have any major bottom signals, but there is a continuation signal here that I think we should be aware of, which is this. If we take a look at what's happened from the low to the high of this range, you can see that we bounced from the Fibonacci golden pocket 786 zone. All right, we're currently long from this area. This setup was given in real time in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. I told everybody when I entered this trade on Monday, the 15th of December. All right, we came and we bounced from that zone between the Fibonacci golden pocket and the 786. All right, that happened right over here. When we did that, the 4-hour time frame gave us a bullish divergence. All right, momentum was getting higher as the price is getting lower. Okay, so we started to get a bounce from a key support heading back toward the top of the range, which finally we got there. I mean, it took us forever, man. I didn't know if we would ever get there, but we finally got there. And so this is an actual bottom signal. When you see the bullish divergence at a key support, that is a bottom signal. And then when you change the structure and you make a higher high, hang on, I meant to say you make a higher high like we did this, and you come back and you start to make a higher low, and you see a trigger wave forming on market Cipher, which is continued direction, right? Continued direction. That's a pretty good chance that we might continue to make a higher high here. If we go ahead and we pull our fib from the low to the high, we're front running the golden pocket. If we pull it from this low, right, the low that we had before that big impulse up, technically we are bouncing from the 618. And also, if we just look at these series of highs that we made here, right, going pretty much all the way back to December 12th, right? It was our resistance from December 12th all the way until January 3rd when we broke out. We're also back testing that. So you could make a case right now that this was a bottom signal. This was a higher high. And coming down into this zone right now, we're going to be making a higher low. Now notice I circled the zone a little bit bigger than just this one level because we have to remember the fact that the idea is not, I'd say this idea does not lose its validity until we start to lose this key zone of around 87.6. This is our high volume node of the range, okay? So the idea of a higher low, I'd say, is valid in between this zone right here. So the question is it in yet? It could be, but the idea that we have that we're making a low, a higher high, a higher low, and then looking to make another higher high, this does not become invalid until we actually lose the high volume node of the range, in which case it becomes most likely that we come back down towards the lows, right? So we're gonna have to wait and see, because over the weekend, like, it's very interesting. We have pumped quite a bit over these weekends. You know, weekends have been kind of pumpish. We go back in time a tiddly tad. Let's take a look at some of these weekends. I mean, look what happened last Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We pumped, man. Before that, Sunday was this big old blue candle on the 4-hour right here. Right, Sunday, big old blue candle. Of course, on Monday we dumped it and gave it all back. But let's see here. Look at this. This was a weekend pump too, right? Saturday and then Sunday we pump right up there, right? So these weekends have been pretty pumpy, and then we give it all back. So it's interesting as we head into the weekend. Keep your eyes on this area, because look, there is a chance that we don't come any lower. There is a chance that this support resistance flip holds. And remember, our actual target, even though we did get a chickens drinking water pattern from the top of this range, all right, which was a trade setup given in advance in the Casper Crew VIP Discord from 94,562. And what do you know? We come right up to 94, where do we come up to? 94.78. So we're like $200 off on that one. That's a pretty accurate, look at that. That's pretty accurate. Just wick up and then boom, right? Even though this technically is the top of the range and there was a valid short to be had here, the true target to the upside right now would have to be this, the macro range high volume node. All right, if we take a look at all the volume that Bitcoin traded since Trump wins the election in 2024 November, and we pull this volume profile, you can see this is our actual level, right? 96-ish K. where we have very important support resistance flip going all the way back here to May. And then if we zoom in, we can even see on the day of Saturday, November 15th and November 16th, Sunday, we back test as resistance. And so this is actually now going to be what I would say our major target, our true range high, right? That's why the range high is technically in this zone right here, I would say. And so, yeah, if we're gonna hold this as support, don't be surprised if over the weekend we come up and make another higher high up here, okay? Now this is where we need to start to be careful, because 96K is our first actual macro resistance, where if we are heading into a larger term downtrend for Bitcoin, 96K is the first place where we could see a significant lower high be put in, okay? Now, of course it's a Friday, but just bear in mind here that depending on how this price action plays out on Friday and Saturday, we might actually start to see something like this happen. Say we chop around on Saturday, right? And then Sunday we get a pump into next week. We could start to see bearish divergence now on the daily. And if we see bearish divergence on the daily, as we're coming into $96,000, I'm going to be shorting it, and I'm definitely going to be expecting a large move down toward the low of this range here. Or I would be expecting probably potentially coming down here, or maybe even coming down here, where basically what we would look for at the low is the opposite of what we saw at the high, right? Just a fake out with some nice bullish divergence, and then we could see continued upside, right? But these are things that we need to be aware of. And again, like when it comes to trading, it's not about predicting. All right, if you're here for predictions, I'm sorry. But you know, one of the biggest things I realized as a trader, to become a successful trader, is you are not in this market to make a prediction. All right, that's for investors. All right, that's for your 65-year-old uncle. Comes over on Thanksgiving, he has a massive belly, but when you press it, it's not fat, it's hard, because it's all visceral fat. Right? It's all visceral fat. It presses out, it's real hard. He's got this hard beer belly. He's got a mustache, you know, like it's still the 70s, and he talks to you about investing, and, you know, he does it based on predicting, right? Trading is not investing. It's very different. The lower time frame you get, the more so it's like fishing. You go out with a fishing pole, right? You're not predicting whether or not you're going to catch a fish, right? You're not like, I'm casting this line out because I know I'm catching one this time. No, you cast out your line and you just wait until the fish bites on the hook, right? So when it comes to trading low time frames, what we need to do is we need to be prepared for different scenarios, and then we wait until one of the scenarios happens, and then we can take action, right? Like this short trade was given in advance, right? I gave it in advance. There were 3 trades I was interested in that day. When I didn't know when it was gonna happen, but when we came to the level, I decided to take the trade because I saw something on the chart, right? Same is true about this, right? I didn't know if it was gonna happen, but a potential fake out of the range high, right? I didn't know if we were gonna get a fake out or not. Well, guess what? I waited, and when I saw that there was a fake out with the confirmations that I wanted, well, then you can take the trade, right? So it's not about making a prediction, because right now in this moment, is there a trade to take? On this daily time frame, no, not for me. Right? Maybe you see something different than I do, but no, this is the time to plan. Most of trading is planning. 95% of trading, maybe even more, is planning. And then the 1%, the 2% is pushing the buttons, right? And if you want to learn this in depth, go to the Jason Casper YouTube channel. All right? Go to the playlist section. Go to the free trading course. All right, this is going to walk you through 18 parts on exactly how to come to a blank chart, make a plan, and then wait it out. All right. So for me right now, what I'd be waiting out is for price to come up here, number one, right? Or honestly, then if not that, then I would be waiting for price to come down to this area right here where we have that high volume node. And if we don't see a good trade to be had there, I would be waiting for price to come all the way back down to the bottom of this range where I'd be looking for another long trade. And of course, this is on the daily time frame. You can zoom in on lower time frames and do this on every single time frame. What it does is it gives you a nice, relaxed way to be a trader. You know, a lot of traders come in here, they're chasing price, they're stressed out, right? But this is relaxed, right? You come to the chart in the morning, you make a plan, and then you don't do anything. You just wait. And if one of your plans plays out, then guess what? You got yourself a beautiful, nice trade to take. And if it doesn't play out, then you do nothing. You just wait and you protect your capital, because eventually that good setup is going to come. That's the thing. They will come. It might take a long time. Look at this chop city in here. But eventually that setup will come. All right. Now, if we can reclaim $96,000, that changes the game, because once you reclaim the high volume node of a large range like this over a year, the probabilities are highest that we come up here and we don't get a major rejection. Maybe we get a little flag and then we break out again. Once we see that breakout like this, right, the probabilities are highest. We could get a big move up to around 110 to 113,000 toward the high of the range here. Or if we take a look at the volume that traded up here, let's actually make it more specific, right? Yeah, we're talking around 110 value area low to the value area high of the big range right here. And it could happen very fast, very, very fast. Super fast. We go to the weekly time frame, and I just want to point out the fact that there's no real resistance. Once we break this level, it could be a very smooth move back up, right? It could happen very fast. And in hindsight, it would be obvious, because in hindsight, we could say, wow, look at this very oversold momentum wave on market Cipher B. We haven't seen anything like this on the weekly since the bear market in June 2022, where it gave us a 45% move to the upside. Of course, we should expect a big move up here, right? Of course, it's hard to expect things when we have literally no volatility since November 24th, right? So it's difficult. It's easy to forget how quick price can move, right? And then when we get an October 10th scenario, or even when we get a April 2025 scenario, we forget, right? It's easy to forget. It's easy to get caught in this chop city and say, nah, it's impossible. There's no way. But then it happens quick, right? And there's a way. When there's a will, there's a way, all right? And of course, my overall philosophy on the market right now is based on the high time frame. I have to be expecting that the first half of 2026 is not going to be a bull market. I could be very wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll come out and say, look, I was totally wrong. But my philosophy right now is I'm looking for a big short. And if we get a pump, I'm looking to short it, even in the event of a new all-time high. And the reason for that is simply this. I don't feel, even though the weekly looks very good, I don't feel it's bottomed out quite yet. I don't feel it's bottomed out quite yet. I feel like we're very young in our downtrend here of breaking below the bear market support. And if we do come up again to make another all-time high, I want you to notice we will be back testing. This literally would be an all-time high, but we'd be back testing this resistance now. It used to be support, now we're back testing as resistance. You know, this is projected to happen around the end of January, beginning of February. We make a new all-time high, and yet we're back testing a support resistance flip. And if that happens, market Cipher B on the weekly would look so bearish, right? Just imagine for a second what we would all be thinking, because you know, sometimes it's easy to get your bull or your bear glasses on, okay? But imagine if we did this, all right? We're looking at a chart, okay? We have ourselves a really nice low with really nice bullish divergence, and then we basically break the trend line. We break the trend line, right? This is our trend line, right? Everyone and their mom is saying, look at how bullish this falling wedge, oh my goodness, big breakout imminent, right? Now we're breaking out, then we come back down for a back test of the trend line. The back test of the trend line takes the liquidity from the low with another drive of bullish divergence. I mean, with that would be the most bullish thing we could possibly imagine, right? So put the chart back on normal. That would be the most bearish thing we could possibly imagine. The weekly has not had enough time, in my opinion, to cool off, right? I think we need that one more drive to the downside in order to cool off properly and get a proper bottom signal on the weekly, right? So whether that means we make a higher high and back test, or that means we make a lower high and then come down lower, that would give our weekly time to do something like this, right? Something like this, where the last time we did something like that, it was actually the bottom, right? So that's kind of what I'd be looking for. That, my opinion, would be much healthier for the uptrend. But again, look, could this time be different? Institutions, sure. And the only way I would change my mind on this bearish bias here is if we are unable to lose 113 or wherever this high volume node is, right? If we do break out of this range, hold it as support, then I'd say, you know what? I guess I'm wrong, because market structure is king, right? At the end of the day, what the chart is doing is king. It doesn't matter how I feel. If the chart is giving me new data, which is saying this fake out, which I will short, which I think we'll probably at least make something on it. But if we bounce from this key support, all right, then I have to say, look, I'm wrong. I should stop looking for the bear market, back to bull season, right? But if we do this, we come up, we lose the level, and especially once we lose that, man, I'm telling you, we're coming all the way back down here. That's what I would expect. At least, all right? And of course, that is a bullish thing, like in general, that is super bullish for Bitcoin, because look, each one of these 9-month periods of sideways and down that we've had during the course of Bitcoin's history has given us a big opportunity to buy at really good prices, right? I mean, look what happened in 2022. This was an amazing opportunity right here to buy Bitcoin at some seriously low prices, like in this zone right down here, right? We had sideways and down. We printed our top signal right here. We had a chunk of sideways. Then we had a big drop. This is the 2-month chart. So, you know, we're looking here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, like almost about a year. Yeah, about a year before the exact bottom. I'd say 9 months before, you know, the buying time begins. Once we get that big drop, that's usually when it's time to get bullish again, right? We could even go back further and go back to 2018, the time I remember very well. You know, a little bit different of a blow off top here, but then we literally trade sideways. I mean, look at this, it's pretty crazy, but January, like a week after we hit our all-time high, January's low was support for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, for 10 months. 10 months, we traded sideways, and then we had one big candle to the downside. That was your chance to get in, right? Same happened last time. Our top, we have about, you know, 8, 9 months of sideways, then we get that one drop, and then boom, that's our opportunity. So I feel like, you know, these drops should be more welcomed, but, and, you know, to be fully transparent, like, I'm not buying any Bitcoin on spot until we're under 70K. So maybe, I mean, you know, if I'm wrong here, I missed the boat. Or if I'm wrong here, I do miss the boat. And I'm not going to buy Bitcoin. I'm not going to take my cash that I have and buy Bitcoin unless we're under 70K at least, right? Doesn't mean I'm not going to stack Bitcoin in other ways, right? Doesn't mean I'm not going to trade to earn Bitcoin, right? There's a lot of ways to stack your Bitcoin. But I'm not gonna take my cash and buy Bitcoin unless we're under 70. You know, so maybe I'm an idiot, maybe I'm not. We'll find out. We'll find out in a few years. All right, clip this to find out if I'm smart or stupid. All right, clip this to find out if I'm smart or stupid. The next leg down is going to be a doozy. It says CBK Wahoo. Shout out to Pepper Beats Rock. Bit of a resistance level. How's Bitcoin doing locally right now? Let's check it out. We are trying to hold this. Let's check out order flow. All right, let's check out the order flow here. When in doubt, check out the OF, baby. When in doubt, look at the OF. Okay, so we actually do have a little bit of bullish CBD here. We've got some bullish CBD here, actually, guys. We've got some bullish CBD here. All right, so from the low that we made on Thursday, the 18th of this. Wow, this is the 4 hour. I didn't realize this was the 4 hour. I thought it was the 15-minute. We do have some bullish CBD actually forming here. We have, from this series of lows around December 30th or whatnot, we've seen open interest increase quite a bit. And we've seen the number of shorts increase quite a bit. So yeah, potentially this could be our higher low zone here. Let's go to a 15-minute time frame. Look at this. I mean, nothing too significant here, but from this low we made down here to these lows, we do also have a little bit of bullish CBD. We have a little bit of bullish CBD. It's not the craziest thing, because a lot of longs wrecked on that one, which kind of pushed our CBD down. But then we had a lot of shorts kind of opening up in this area here. Those guys, a lot of them are, like a few of them are still open, not too many. Yeah, not too much to write home about here, right? Not too much to write home about here. Check out the 1 hour, and then we'll go on to some other things. So here's the thing, guys. If this red dot confirms on the 1 hour, that is pretty bearish, I'd say. You know, that would be a bearish divergence here on our 1 hour. Price making a higher high, momentum making a lower high. That would be pretty bearish in my book. So hopefully we can hold this and push up a little bit higher to get this momentum wave on the hour above 32.2 on market Cipher B. Let's take a look at ETH. Before we take a look at ETH, a quick reminder, guys. Make sure to like the stream. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to trade Bitcoin, check out KCEX, check out WEEX, check out BLOFIN and ZoomX. And if you want to join the best trading community in the world, go to jasoncaspertrading.com, click the link to join the VIP Discord. All right. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Steak Sauce. The play is rotating to alts. Yeah, that's true. We've seen alts perform very well. And we're going to take a look at some. Shout out to Alex Wells. Everything in a keyboard. Wowzers. Everything in a keyboard. I'm not sure what it means, but cool. Big limit while above the highs. 87K incoming, says Trembler707. Can I turn the music up a bit? I'll turn up a bit for you. Sure. Shout out to Coffee and Relaxing. You must see at the computer show 2026 in China, the future of computing. Your entire PC box is replaced by, get this, only your keyboard. Oh! They minimized everything to only a keyboard. That's cool. Is the screen holographic? More liquidity to the upside than downside, says Luke Bitwalker. Smooth move down, smooth move up, says Splash Rock Films. That's what's up. The clip gold. The thing is, cash is not reliable anyway. So either you buy Bitcoin with your cash or you just buy gold. Yeah, I think it's best to honestly diversify. Lower the music. Someone said raise the music. Someone said lower the music. I'll lower the music and raise the voice. How about that? It's best to diversify. All right. Antarctic is getting good. You're right. Antarctic Decentralized Exchange. Make sure to check it out. Link in the description. Bullish on Parade says that weekly upside could be a cup and handle. Weekly upside down could be a cup and handle. Are you talking about for Bitcoin? The weekly upside down. Ooh. Yeah, it could. Yeah, it could. It could, for sure. And yeah, I'm telling you, man, it really could. Let's pull a fib here. Put on our 382. The 382, which is typically where a cup and handle will bounce from. This is going to take us up to around 98K. Yeah, that could be a cup and handle. Can you imagine that? Let's just, just a thought experiment here, guys. I'm not saying this. Just relax. Just relax, you guys. Just relax. Come on. You can already see the thumbs downs in the dang chat. Oh, what do you know? 39,500. What do you know? It's the dang. Are you? It's literally, guys. It's the 786 Fibonacci. You could not. Are you serious? Are you serious? That is insane. All right, yeah, you could go ahead. This is my target, actually. This is literally my bear market target. Is this exact level. Man, can you imagine if just an upside down cup and handle is all you needed to get into the big short, baby? Man, that would be crazy. I like it. I like it. Shout out to Not Quicker. Someone else is seeing it too. Boyan had a setup on Monero today. That's what's up. How's my Spanish going? Muy bien, gracias, gracias. Me encanta español. Yo hablo mucho español. Porque mi familia es cubano. Yeah, shout out to Not Quicker in the chat. Let's check out some things real quick. ETH, I think, is boring. Same old, same old, same old, same old. But let's check out XMR, since I do hold a bit. I mostly hold it for the purpose of it being a privacy coin. Not necessarily because I'm looking to trade it. Although I would sell some if we ever made it to $1,000. Let's see what exchange has the most history on XMR. Look, I'm bullish on privacy coins in general here, but XMR does look like it is forming a large potential cup and handle here. I mean, we had a pretty nice range, low, rounded bottom. Let's go ahead and analyze this here. Just curious. You know, I do have to say, like, just based on a cursory overview of XMR right now, I do really like the support of around $200-ish. The back test of that value area high, the monthly order block, the liquidity from August. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying I like the level. Then, of course, to the upside, we do have the high from 2021. We're coming close to an all-time high on Monero. With potential bear div here on the monthly. Let's go to the 2-week. Yeah, you know what? I would actually really like right now if XMR did this. You know, you could see we're about to get a little bear div here on the 2-weekly. With money flow getting thicker, you know, wouldn't it be nice to take the high? I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just looking at the chart, thinking to myself, wouldn't it be nice to take the high, come down to take out this low, and support resistance flip big time right here, and then continue up like basically a breakout and a back test of this range? That would be pretty nice. Let's check out our weekly here. The money flow is so thick. It would be really cool if we could break down from this and bounce from that support. Now, of course, when things are ultra bullish, a lot of times you don't take all the liquidity. Let's pull a local fib here and a local range here. I mean, at the very least, it would be nice to take that high, give back some of this nonsense here, right? Take the high, break down, and come down to the zone of volume between the golden pocket and the 786 for a bounce. That would also be nice. I would be interested in the event of a pullback from $518 to coming back test 322. Oh, 322! Some skull and bones Illuminati like George W. Bush type stuff. Also, I would be interested in coming down to, you know, the $200 level. Those would be two very interesting areas. Because I'm bullish on XMR. I would not be surprised to see it at $1,000. I know it sounds crazy, but it's a privacy coin, and that is going to be important. Now, of course, the whole thing with privacy coins is, how are you going to sell it if it's a privacy coin and they remove all the on-off ramps into fiat? Well, there you go. Then maybe it's bad for you as an investment. But if you're looking at it as a means of preserving your purchasing power in a way that's completely private, then it does hold value in that way, right? And I don't know if they'd completely take off the on and off ramps for certain. I mean, you can always use a DEX to take your XMR to something else. You know, of course, then they might be able to track you. But if you're not worried about getting tracked and you just want to make some money, I do think privacy coins are kind of bullish, right? So interesting chart there on XMR. 1 hour red dot coming, maybe, on Bitcoin. Yeah, maybe. Thoughts on Bitcoin never tarred? Never tarred? I don't know. All right, so here's a view that a lot of people have here. My screen is paused. Yeah, I see that. That's strange. Let's try something here. Guys, by the way, the egg code for today is MEXC. All right, if you're looking for some eggs, the code is MEXC. All right, the code is MEXC. So if you want eggs which are redeemable for cash, prizes in the Discord, make sure to go into the Discord. Go to the quests section. I'll show you in a second here. And claim your eggs, which are redeemable for cash. Cash. Click claim. Go ahead, type in MEXC. Boom. Get yourself some nice eggs right there. Get yourself some nice eggs right there. Local Bitcoin action getting moved down. Let's check it out. Yep. Yeah, we're getting moved down here for sure. So let's see what happens, right? That 1 hour bear div would look pretty horrible, considering the fact that we took out these series of highs right over here. Yeah, it doesn't look very good right now, to be honest with you. It looks pretty bearish, but we'll have to see. It is top secret. Everything in the Discord is top secret, all right? So here's a theory. We've been in a bear market since the election. The bottom is almost in. Yeah, I've heard that as well. Let's see, right? We'll have to wait and see. Speaking of seeing, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. All right, we're back, baby. Yeah, Bitcoin dumping. All right. Shout out to our super chat in the house. Jason, is Filecoin dead? Saturday night liquidation event, which Sailor brags about every time. Teacher gone, behave class. Let's take a look at Filecoin. You know, I held myself some Filecoin and I lost quite a bit of money on it. In fact, I lost everything on it. I actually still hold it, so this is not good. October 10th, wick, and then we come up in November and backtest support. You know, it doesn't look very good right now at all. It doesn't look good at all right now. That was the monthly. Let's go to the weekly. It doesn't look good at all right now. You know, I'll be honest. We don't see any real, like, sign of strength on the attempt to make a higher high. We end up also making a lower low. The only thing it has going for it right now is a bullish divergence on the weekly, confirmed, which could be good. Like the problem with stuff like this is there's no like support. We're in price discovery. To the downside, there's no support to really look for. We're just trying to, you know, grasp at divergences in no man's land, which is tough, right? It is tough. It makes it tough. You know, I wish I could give some kind of proper analysis on it, but the only thing we can do, I'd say, is look at the range. And, you know, we have this POC here at $1.55. So I would say, you know, it's tough because we did have a pretty bullish move above, and I would say this looked really good. Like that, this did look good. The fact that all right, let's look at it this way. I'm trying to feel bullish here on Phil. All right, we do have this. All right, we have bullish divergence. I don't know anything about this coin fundamentally, but I would say if we can hold above the POC now, then we could hope for higher. We could hope for higher. Given these bullish divs, we could hope for higher. The thing I really don't like is essentially we just squeezed this and then came down for a lower low. It's not a very healthy move at all. Not a very healthy move. This looks like the last exit liquidity attempt. Is it dead? Look, never say dead. It's not over until the fat lady sings, but it definitely doesn't look really good right now, and we definitely don't have any signs of strength right now. So I'm holding the bag right now and hoping for the best right now. All right? Hoping for the best right now. Oh, my screen froze again? What the heck? Man. Technical difficulties out the wazoo, baby. We got the technical difficulties out the wazoo. All right. Bitcoin dumping. Let me sniff your sandals. Here we go. We're dumping down, baby. We are dumping down quite a bit. All right, guys. I guess I'm going to head out. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. May God bless you all. I'll see you guys next week. Make sure to like, subscribe, click the bell. Let's see what happens over the weekend. Peace, y'all.